Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video we are going to cover the concept of nested if-else statement. Okay, so what is nested if-else statement? So consider that there are three elements, that is element A, element B and element C. Now consider that element B is present in element A and element C is present in element B. Okay, so this concept, that is B is present in A and C is present in B. That is, this is the concept of nested. That is the term nested. Similarly, when multiple if-else statements are used inside one another, it is known as nested if-else statement. And it is used when multiple test series are needed to be tested for the better result. Okay, so just look at the syntax here, that first of all we have just written an if statement and open the curly braces here. Okay, and the argument that is present in this, the first argument that is present in this particular if statement is another if statement. Okay, and its curly braces begin here and ends here, and there is some statement blocks that is present in the this particular if statement's curly braces. Okay, and its else statement is written afterwards, and the curly braces that was starting here is ending here, that is the end of if statement is present here, that is between these two curly braces, and another set of if else statement is present, and there, that's why it is known as nested if else. That is, the another if else block is present in the if statement that is present before. Okay, and the else statement of the first if statement is present after the end of the first if statement. Okay, so this is how we are going to use the nested if else condition. So let's have a look here. So we will write a new code only for this. So first of all, I will just include our header file, that is standard input output header file. I will just begin with int main function and I will just write return 0 first before, because this function ain't going to return anything. Now I will just write int, that is a. Okay, now, and I will just give it value as 20, and another I will just use, that is int b equal to 30. That is another variable I am going to use is int b, that is 30. Now first of all I will write an if statement, and I am going to use the condition that if a is less than b. Okay, and I will also declare one more variable, that is equal to 40. Okay, now I am going to use a condition that is a is less than b for first if statement. Okay, and this particular if statement, if the condition is true, then I am going to execute one more if statement that is present inside the first if statement. Okay, and I will give the condition here as b is less than c. Then I need to execute that printf that b is less than c, else I want to print b is greater than c. Okay, and after the end of this else, that is if a statement, I'm just going to write its else statement. So I will just write printf that b is greater than c, sorry, a, and after that I am going to write printf block after if else statement. Okay, and one more improvisation that I want to do is I will just remove the initialization here. Okay, and I will just let the user enter the different values. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to write printf and I will just write enter A and scanf percentage d, okay, comma, and a, okay, and I will just copy this particular statements two times because I need the same thing for b and c also. Okay, so I will just write b here, and I will just change the a here to c, and here also. So now our program is complete. So what this program is going to do is, first of all, it will ask the user to input A, B and C. Now, if A is less than B, that whatever input that is done by a user, it is going to be stored in this variable. Now, if the variable A is less than B, then this particular if statement is going to be executed. And inside this if, another if else statement block is present, and it is checking that if b is less than c. So if b is less than c, if statement is checking that if b is less than c. If b is less than c, then this particular statement is going to be printed that b is less than c. And if it is not the case, then the statement that is b is greater than c is going to be printed. But now for the comparison that between A and B, if A is less than B, then this particular statement is going to be executed. But if it is not, then else block would be executed for this if block, okay? And it is going to print that B is greater than A. So now just let's save the program and run it. So the terminal will ask you to enter A. So I will just use the case where A is less than B. So 2, I will just write 2, okay? So 2, and I will enter B, that is greater than A, therefore 3, and I will write C as 4. Okay, now just to see that what exactly is happening here, so let me just use the escape series so that it may be visible clearly to you, and I will run the program once again. So let me just use the escape series. Okay, so yes, it is done. Now I will just run the program again. So now I will enter the same value, that is 2, 3 and 4 respectively for A, B and C, that is 2, 3 and 4. Now what happens here is, see that A, that is 2, is less than 3. So first of all our if block is executing, okay, because 2 is less than 3. Now what happens here is B is less than C, therefore this if block would also be executed because the condition is fulfilling. Therefore it should print that B is less than C. Okay. Now as this particular if block is executed, it is just printing whatever it is just going to execute. See, first of all what happens is, it checks that if A is less than B. So A is less than B. Okay, because 2 is less than 3. Therefore it is just going to execute the statement that is present inside the first if block. Okay, now what happens is, it checks, so first of all it will encounter a second if block, and it is checking that if b is less than c. So b is less than c, therefore this particular if block is going to be executed. Okay, therefore the printf statement will print b is less than c as b is less than c. So we can see in our output that b is less than c. And after that, as this condition is true, this particular else block is not going to be executed, and as this condition was true, okay, that is a is less than b, this particular else block is not going to be executed. Okay, and simply it will just move out of this if else block, and it will print whatever statement is present outside the block. Now let me that is, let me just enter value of a in which a is less than b. Okay, so only one statement would be present, in which the value of b is less than a. So there will be the output that b is greater than a, and other printf statement would be executed is after, that is block after if else statement. Okay, so let me just run this program, and I will just write 3, that is I will just enter the value, that is 3, 2 and 4. Okay, now what happens here is, we have entered the value of a as 3, b as 2. So as a is 2 3 and b is 2, this particular a less than b is false. So as it is false, this particular else statement is going to be executed, and the if else block that is present inside the first if statement is going to be avoided. Okay, because this condition is not true, that is a less than b is not true, therefore this particular if block is not going to be executed. Instead else block is going to be executed, therefore b is greater than a is going to be printed. So you can see that yes, b is greater than a is printed, and the printf statement that is present after this if else block, okay, is going to be definitely printed. So block after if else statement. So this is how we execute the nested if else statement. It is basically used when we want certain conditions to be true at first, and after that we want to again check some conditions to be true and execute some of the statements. Okay, so this is the simple example of uh, what we say nested if else statement, and this is the source code that I will be providing you in the link. Do check the link. I will be providing the source code also, as well as the theoretical section also. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. In next session we are going to cover the if elif statement. Okay, so I hope you stay connected. Have a great day.